Tensions are running high in Minneapolis over the fatal shooting of a woman by an ICE agent. Protests have been growing all morning long, and moments ago, at least one person was taken into custody while we were watching live, happening right there on your screen. That happened just moments ago. Reporters on the ground say the crowd shows no signs of shrinking anytime soon. I want to bring in the host of the CBS Evening News, Tony Dokoupil, who is reporting on the ground in Minneapolis and joins us now to talk about what he's seen over the last 24 hours. Tony, so what can you tell us about what you've witnessed and some of the people that you've spoken to?
Hey, Vlad, thank you. It's great to be with you. Again, I really wish it were under different circumstances. I know you're showing video of protests and one person taken into custody. I can tell you here on the scene, just on the block where Renee Good's car came to a stop and where she died, it is quieter but active all night. There are people here who actually camped overnight. Barricades were set up, and very rapidly with recycling bins and trash bins, with pallets, with pieces of plywood, old refrigerators. On this intersection, on that one, there is no way for a car to get in onto that block. It's sacred ground is how it's described when you talk to the people who live here or are from the immediate area. They are concerned. Well, they're of two minds right now. On the one hand, you'll talk to people who say, if you can hear my voice, come here and show ICE that they're not welcome. You get that perspective. They're calling for more people here, calling for more activity. Other people don't want to see a situation that could have a spark that sets it off, and they're concerned. So, for example, quiet this morning, except for one individual who came marching through with a quite assertive posture, two flags. One of them said, "Don't tread on me." I talked to some locals. They say anyone with a "Don't tread on me" flag is probably not from Minneapolis. It's just not the vibe here. It's not the mentality here. They're concerned that the man with the "Don't tread on me" sign, when I talk to him, he says, I'm here to protect the place. I don't want outside agitators. You talk to other people here, they say he's the outside agitator. So there is deep sadness, also deep tension and concern about what happens next, Vlad. It's 24 hours later, not even, and that's the state of things here on the block where it happened.
So, Tony, you had two really powerful interviews over the last couple of days. You had one with the border czar, Tom Homan, where you talked about the incident that happened yesterday where that young woman was killed by those ICE agents. Now, he told you that he had not witnessed or seen the entirety of the video, that he wanted to wait until the investigation was complete. Meanwhile, you've got the President of the United States and the DHS Secretary, Kristi Noem, telling reporters that they are just going by the evidence of the tape and saying that this woman tried to intentionally ram over an ICE officer. What else did Mr. Homan tell you?
Vlad, what's so remarkable about the Tom Homan conversation is we actually sat with him with an iPad and showed him one of the most viral videos of the shooting. He watched the whole thing with us, and we wanted to know, what do you see, Mr. Homan, when you watch this? He declined to comment because he said, look, there's an investigation that is ongoing. He called it unprofessional for him to try to weigh in on what he's seeing. That could not be more different than what you're hearing from the Department of Homeland Security, which has already come out and said this is she tried to weaponize the car. It was an act of domestic terrorism. Could not be more different than what the president is saying, characterizing it in a very different way. So Homan has some daylight between where he is and the president. That struck me as very noteworthy. But I also asked Tom Homan if all these videos for months and months that seem to show excessive force from ICE, whether when he sees them, he sees any activities or behaviors that are out of line or over the line. And I was surprised, Vlad, but maybe I shouldn't have been, that he said no, 0 cases, in fact, in his view, where any behavior from ICE has gone past the limit. And I said, frankly, to him, a lot of people hear that and they think it's just not believable. It was quite a moment. We put the whole video online. I hope people will take a look at the interview.
Yeah, I saw that entire video has been posted. It's 25 minutes long. You talk about a lot of things, including how people should be treated in this country who are trying to emigrate here. One question before you go, Tony. I also want to highlight your interview with Robert Cerna, the acting director of ICE, the ICE field office in Dallas, Texas. And the reason I want to highlight that interview is because you asked him a question. You and I had talked about this many times before on the set of CBS Mornings, we all often wondered why those ICE officials wear masks when they're conducting these operations, and why it's become important and critical and newsworthy and noteworthy that you asked them that is because you've got Governor Walz and the mayor of Minneapolis saying that the very presence, in fact, the police chief, as you heard on CBS Mornings today, Police Chief O'Hara told me the very presence of these officers is making life difficult for police officers in Minneapolis. Oftentimes they are masked up, and people have wondered, if you've got nothing to hide, if you're not doing anything wrong, why are you wearing those masks? And the answer, I thought, was sort of it left me still with a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go right to it. I don't think it's a sign of a healthy democracy when people are wearing masks, whether they're protesters or law enforcement officers. And I understand some of the reasoning behind it, but take me into the head of an ICE field agent right now. Why are they wearing masks?
So, I mean, wearing a mask is they wear a mask for their protection. And it's not really just their protection, but the protection of their family. We all took an oath to serve this country and to enforce immigration laws. And that's all we're doing.
Well, that's a perspective from the ICE side of things. They say they're enacting policy, doing their duty. You hear from people here. I just moments ago had a conversation about this. They think the masks themselves are inherently un-American. Doesn't feel like the United States of America to see agents covering their faces, unable to be identified. So the city's waking up here. We'll see what the next 24 hours bring. Vlad?
Yeah, Tony, as always, my friend, incredible reporting. Thank you very much for joining us. I know you're really busy. We appreciate it as always.